Hello and welcome to another episode of the Get At It Gaming Podcast. This is one of our special ones for the holidays. Happy holidays to everybody. And we are doing our favorite games of 2021 right before the new year hits. So we're going to do something a little different. We've got a special guest today, but let me introduce everyone. So with me is Alex. Alex, how are you?
Hello. I'm doing fine. The way that the video is, it's really weird because now we have an extra person. I got slotted in on the bottom, so I don't like it. It's like I feel like I'm in like the Spencer zone, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
Well, there's that.
You gotta
And
look
also, we decided to invite my offspring, Aiden.
The offering, like the band.
I wish he had that kind of money. He's not that. It costs me more. So he's been begging to be on another podcast. Was on one of the holiday ones last year. So we decided to bring him on this one because he plays just as many games as his dad does,
if not more.
probably more. He probably doesn't want to go on record saying how often or how late he plays with me here because then I'll have video proof. But we're gonna kind of go through like our top 5 games for this year, make it totally conversational, and these are in no order. So 1 through 5 doesn't matter like where they're at. All still great games. Yeah, let's. You know what? Let's start off with Aiden since you are.
He didn't want to go first. He already said he didn't want to go first.
All right. It's all right.
Okay.
That's why I'm making him go.
All right, that's fair.
Fair enough.
Alex is like,
I'm not gonna step on those parental, like, yeah. I'm not gonna tell someone.
You'll be fine. So what is one of your games of the year?
I put down Bowser's Fury, which came with Super Mario 3D World, which was re-released for Switch. I don't know. I just thought like the graphics to that game was just really nice. For the Switch, being the Switch, I thought that those graphics were really nice.
Absolutely. I have not played Bowser's Fury on there, but I did play the other one. And that's one of my favorite Mario games, to be honest. It was so well done. Did you play both of them, Alex?
No. So I was actually about to ask, did you guys play this on Wii U as well? Because I've only played the 3D World on Wii U, so I was curious how it compares.
It's smoother.
It is. Okay.
For sure.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, like, it's definitely one of those games I'll probably pick up eventually because I really do like that game. Friend of the show, I think he's a friend. I don't even know if he listens to this show. Good friend Matt. You know Matt Ben. Matt, he used to work with me a long time ago, but we played the original Mario 3D World together. We beat it 100%ed it on Wii U. Like, he played as Rosalina.
Wow.
And then, well, actually no, I don't think he can play as Rosalina in the beginning. He played as Peach, I think, and I played as Luigi. But yeah, it's definitely a fun game. It's a fun time.
I remember when we first got it, we had it on Wii U, and my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, trying to get her to get to know the boys, we decided to bring that game as the first game for her to play. It was a nightmare. It was awful. We're all playing at once. He's laughing because my son's laughing because we're all playing at once, right? So we're all way over here, all 3 of us. And she's like, okay, what am I doing? Nate's like trying to you have to use both sticks. You have to use it like this. And she's like, I can't. And
Funny,
then
because my mom does the same thing. She doesn't understand the concepts of the 2 sticks. I don't know why. The 2 sticks just throws everybody off.
That's a certain part of people where they just can't understand it. They can do 2D fine. They can even do like N64 fine because the stick was gradually introduced to us back then because of the C buttons. But yeah, a lot of people just at a certain age gap, they just can't play with sticks unless they had been playing games like their whole life. It's just a thing.
Yeah. I remember when I got my PS2. Yeah, PS1, and then I got the DualShock.
Yeah.
It took a little getting used to, but
Mhm.
that was so long ago. So yeah, that's a great game to start off. Good job, Aiden. What about you, Alex? What is one of the games on your list?
I see how it is. You're making me go next. Well, let's see here. Um, what should I jump on? Should I jump on things that you guys know, or should I just get over with things that you guys don't know? So I was looking at my list here, just trying to find games from 2021 that I've actually played, and there are 20 games here. Out of these 20 games, there may be like 8 that I actually enjoyed slash played enough to make a decision about. Like Persona 5 Strikers, for example, like I didn't really play a whole lot, so I feel like I can't even say it on this list. But I played enough of this game to feel like I will enjoy it for a long time, and eventually there'll be more DLC. So, my game is a game that none of you have ever heard about, it, unless I've talked about it, is Melty Blood Type Lumina. This is a fighting game by French Bread, and it is same people who did like Under Night in Birth, another Melty Blood game, and other things. It's a 2D fighter, very similar to like Arc Systems. So like whether that's like Blaze Blue, whether that's Dragon Ball Fighters, whether that's even like a little bit like Mario vs. Capcom, maybe. Like it's just something like that. But it's based on Tsukihime, which is a visual novel in Japan, which is in the Type Moon universe. Now I have to talk about everything else. So like Fate Stay Night, like Fate Zero, Fate Unlimited Blade Works, like those anime
I've
and
heard
stuff.
of those.
Those are well, you're glitching out on us. I don't know if that's happening to everyone else.
That was weird. I just saw that.
Yeah. But like yeah, those are that's all like based on like visual novel stuff, and then it's all like connected into the same thing. So yeah, like it's just a really good solid fighting game, and it came out fairly recently last month. So actually might come out in September even. But like yeah, it still has a lot of potential, but I played enough of it where I can say like I do like this game a lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing more characters added and just everything else, because the online's really good too. It has something called rollback netcode, which is just really good solid online for fighting games. So like there's like virtually no lag, so like it's
I
not
do.
it's not Smash Bros.
I might have to check it out. I do enjoy. Actually, when I was, there was a gathering that was happening not too long ago. I was invited to, and I was going to go to it. I actually had Aiden and I practice Smash Brothers because I'm not very good at Smash.
Yeah, we played for
Every
a
other,
good while.
yeah, every other fighting game I'm okay at. I love 2D fighters. That's what I grew up on. I might have to check that one out because I don't think I've ever heard of it, but I love like pretty fighters like Dragon Ball Fighters and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some of my favorites. So that's awesome.
Yeah, now I will be warned. I will warn you though. Like there isn't really a story mode, so you shouldn't really be lost. But at the same time, like it's very focused on these characters. So if you know nothing about them, you might not get a whole lot out of it. But it does have Saber from almost said from Sword Art. Gross. It's from Saber from Fate Stay Night. So I'm sorry I insulted Sword Art. If anyone likes Sword Art, I'm sorry.
It's lost like one of our listeners.
Oh no.
Way to go. Well, those are, see, it's hard because I'm looking at my list and those are two really great ones. Um, I'm going to start off with one that's pretty obvious to probably anyone that listens, which is Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut.
Of course.
Dude, this game looks great on the PS4. It looks amazing on PS5. And the new island, I will tell anybody if they're going to plan on getting this game over the holidays and start it, finish the first part first before you go to the new island, because otherwise you're just going to get stomped. It is much harder, and the enemies are more advanced, but it's great adding to the story. They did it right on PS5. It looks great. Probably one of the better ones that I've seen on that system. I think Aiden, do you remember when you walked down and you saw me playing it? Aiden, I know he walked down. He's like, "What are you playing?" And I'm like, "I'm playing Ghost, but I'm playing the PS5 Director's Cut."
It looked straight out of like a movie. It was weird because like it was like during a cutscene, I think, and so I didn't see like he was playing a game, so I just thought he was watching a movie. That's how realistic and just the colors and stuff were. It was great.
Yeah, they still have their online presence.
Hmm.
I'm not a big fan of it. Um, it's okay. It's
You
okay.
just gotta
I
have
mean, it's
people to
not.
play with. It sounds like
Yeah,
for like the
I
co-op
mean they'll.
missions.
Yeah, they will pair you with other people. They have the legendaries ones where you can do with another person, but it's better if you do it with somebody you know because otherwise you guys are both doing. There was one time where we were supposed to go to this camp and quietly take out people, and this guy just go in like Leroy Jenkins and just started raising flags, and then they started signaling more, and so like it was a never ending. And you don't have all the powers you have in Ghost.
Mm.
You're basically starting with a brand new character, level 1.
Oof.
And so at one point, I just threw a smoke bomb and said, "Screw this guy, you're on your own." But definitely on my list. Great game. Um, I went ahead and spent the money to get the PS5 version, and I I think it was like what $70. I
Hmm.
spent the $70 on that, no problem. So
Cool.
okay,
I
Aiden.
only have the
What
PS4 version of that, and I still haven't played a whole lot of it.
they
I'll probably play it eventually. It's a big game. It's a really big game, so it's very I don't know. It's scary, I guess. Like I don't know if I want to invest so much time into that because I
when
have so
you
many other things I need to invest time into.
I will tell you when you start getting into side missions, it's forever
Yeah.
because every town you liberate, there's all these side missions, and there's ways to get legendary weapons, which you're gonna want. Like basically, there's a bow that's like a sniper rifle where you can hit people from really far away. You're
Hmm.
gonna want that. You don't have to do that mission, but you're gonna want that.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing the ones where you can't set any alarms off at all. Um, and then you upgrade weapons. So by the time I was done with the game, I had found every single thing in the game, and then I moved to the next island. So just be forewarned, it's long.
Sounds like it.
So, all right, Aiden, what about you? What's your next game?
Oh, I'm gonna put this on like a uh what's it called? Honorable mention because it did only come out 2 days ago. So I can't really give it I guess, a fair enough judgment. But I put Call of Duty Vanguard. Um, I put this on here because the last year for COD was not the greatest by any means. I did not think Cold War was very good. I thought Cold War was very mediocre. I mean, it's a lot saying because the Call of Duty we got in 2019 was like developed for 3 years when Cold War only took like 8 months, I think they developed. So we definitely got spoiled back in 2019 compared to 2020. So when it comes to Vanguard, it's just a definite upgrade and it just feels a lot smoother and just overall like a better game for sure.
I mean, I saw him playing it. It looks good. It's not my cup of tea. Um, I would play story. Have you played into the story? Yep.
Campaign I've not really touched on. I only ever played Black Ops 3's campaign and I thought that was pretty good. But the newer CODs I've not really touched campaign. That's just not really something that I prefer.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, it looks good. I mean, we were talking before, Alex. That's something your dad would play, right? Call of Duty, or is
If
he?
there's a campaign, he would play it. He is only all about campaign. He doesn't even have Xbox Live, because he plays on Xbox One. So we would need to get him a Series X at this point, just because like that old VCR is chugging along, you know. But yeah, so like he didn't play the previous ones or whatever. I don't think he played last year's, but he normally plays whenever there is a campaign. We would buy it, but his big thing right now is Far Cry. So
A great game. I might play this one. I might play it later once he's done, doing the campaigns or whatever.
mhm.
Uh, or we're doing what he's doing online or taking a break. I might. Um, I don't. I've seen him play online. It's ridiculous. We've also seen Spencer play online. Yeah, as his camera's like all over the place. Anyone that's
Yeah.
watching the video, by the way, we have no idea why his camera's do
Who
what he does.
knows? If it's
Who knows?
I'm gonna do some technical things right now. If it's an integrated camera to your computer, then there's nothing we can do. If it's your actual camera, just unplug and plug it back in. It might work.
Just right
Yeah,
now, just unplug it.
yeah, just
Sure. Yeah.
this is full conversational.
Yeah.
It's in the back.
Yep,
Uh,
Discord.
so as he's doing that, why don't you go into your next one, Alex?
Okay. Well, now we can see everything down there. Let's see here. So my next one, I guess we will. I'll save that for later. So I haven't beaten this game yet. I kind of fell off of it because of Sora and Smash, but Metroid Dread is a very good game. It's an excellent game.
I wondered if you were going to have that on there.
I like it a lot. I got probably 50 to 75% through that game, but then I just fell off of it because of because of the way that things are right now. There's too many games to play, too many things happening, so like I just kind of fell off of it. I'll probably get back to it eventually, but then I played Kingdom Hearts 2 for like a whole week and a half to 2 weeks for no reason.
That game is amazing.
Try playing on critical mode.
I struggle on Proud. I can't even get past because I beat the game, like all the worlds and everything, and I'm trying to go back and take on the Organization 13 all over again, like through that.
Yeah,
I don't remember what it's called.
That's what I'm.
Chamber.
That's the thing I can't beat on critical.
It's so hard.
So yeah, I'm too busy focused on that stuff and not playing Metroid Dread. But Metroid Dread is it's definitely a return to form for a lot of those 2D Metroid games. It reminds me a lot of Fusion, and like I really like Fusion. I'm not really a big Metroid fan altogether, I would say. I only really like Zero Mission, Fusion, and this game. I don't even really like Super Metroid because that sprite's too big. It's way too big for that game in my opinion, so it just makes the platforming really weird and awkward. It's similar like Mega Man 7 or something like that when you're playing that on like a Super Nintendo. But I don't really like Metroid Prime. I like Metroid Prime 2 because again it's more of that survival horror type stuff where like, oh, there's the Dark Samus coming after you. Metroid Dread is a hard game for sure, but it is definitely worth it. But again, since it is a hard game, if you're not comfortable with hard games and not changing difficulty, and you're just not great at platforming, I would highly recommend avoiding this game.
Yeah, I've spent about an hour and a half with it. It is hard, but when you get to a part that's really hard, it makes you feel really good about being. I mean, talk about hard games. 90% of the NES games I grew up with were hard, and there was nothing. There was no level changes. There was no. I mean, at least for Metroid, you could look it up online. Like, hey, this is what I'm missing with tips or whatever. But and that game looks great. I think that's a game that should have. I think it should have came to the Switch, before. But I think it was the game that, and this game was, we found on several podcasts, this game was selling the console itself. People were buying it to play it.
Yep. I still have it on here. So for audio listeners, I'm holding the case for Metroid Dread because I do not clean my desk. So.
Well, I'm trying to think which one I want to go with. I'm going to go with Far Cry 6 is my next one. And I've not put a ton of time. I'm about, I'd say 35-40% into the game.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, it's just prettier looking Far Cry. I remember one time I spent 30 minutes just fishing once I got the fishing pole. I have a crocodile who wears a sweater. He's fantastic, by the way. And I don't want to do any spoilers of where I'm at, but it's more Far Cry. The weapon system's better. The upgrading of weapons is better. The story itself is amazing. I thought 5's story was awesome. It felt very realistic, story-wise.
Yeah.
Obviously, having a pet bear named Cheeseburger that had the diabetes is not realistic,
It
I
could be
guess.
realistic. Like,
Wrong.
it's
I mean,
possible.
it could be. Uh, and you're not allowed to feed him cheeseburgers, you know, because of the diabetes. But that story with the evil characters are very, very real.
Hmm.
This is a dictatorship. So, um, first off, the landscape is amazing looking. Um, it's Far Cry. You take over camps, you take side missions, you know, more of that. Um, I just think it's great. It's a good game. The actors that they have, the actor specifically they have in it that's playing the dictator is an amazing actor. And it's hard to believe that he's doing a video game because he's such a good actor. It's like he's doing a character, you know?
Hmm.
Like you finally watched all of Mandalorian. It's like that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
He is fantastic. So that would be definitely one of my top fives. Uh, but yeah, it's so good. And I know it didn't get tens or whatever, but man, if you've not played this game, you're totally missing out. It's a great game.
Hmm.
So have you played this one yet, Alex?
Nope. I have only played Far Cry 4 for a little bit, maybe a little bit of 3, but like that was more of like going into the basement and my dad was like, "Here, play this game." I was like, "I don't really want to." "Here, play this game." Okay. I played it. Can I go? Can I go play something else? Can I go play my Weeb games, please? So, like, yeah, that's the way that my dad and I try to he tries to bond with me, I guess I should say, like watching movies and things like that. And like it's a fun time, but a lot of things like we don't see eye to eye with the same stuff that we play. But Gears of War was the one though, like where like we both loved that series. But I
Yeah.
mean, I might play like depending on like how good this game is. I do have a 2 month. No, I guess it wouldn't be on there. Maybe it would. I have 2 months of Game Pass Ultimate from like a friend. So like if it is like gonna come to Game Pass eventually, once I put in that code here probably next month, then yeah, maybe I'll try it or something similar, or maybe one of the older ones. But
Yeah, I mean, me and Aiden, we're pretty close on what we play. Like his shooters, I don't play, but everything else I play, like Kingdom Hearts. And if I get something I think he would like, yeah, this is definitely one I think he would probably play. I mean,
I
uh,
didn't like 5. Like I tried 5, it just felt like clunky. Like I don't know why. Like I just felt like
yeah.
everything felt like kind of like clunky just compared to like all this other shooters that I
Oh,
play.
this one's much better. So much cleaner. Uh, what's even crazier is like you can literally just ride horses. It's like it feels very close to Red Dead, but I mean not
okay.
third person.
Hmm.
Um, but the cool thing is you can strategize with your animal. So if you need him just to lay low and protect you, he can do that. If you need him now, obviously it's an alligator, crocodile, whatever. It's not going to do that good of a job. But the cool thing is, if you're trying to sneak, he will sneak around and take people from behind. It's the craziest thing ever. Which is so not true because like you can pet him and you're like, it's like, oh, it's like petting a cat,
Hmm.
but it's not. And he has a gold tooth. So yeah.
Nice.
What about you, Aiden? What's your next game?
So my next game that I got about 90% of the way done with it, and I just never I played. I think something else came up, and then I just kept playing that. But I put on Skyward Sword, Zelda Skyward Sword. Um, I bought this game the day it came out because I was very intrigued about the motion controls because it was a Wii game, and so I was very intrigued on how like the Joy Cons worked as the sword and the shield. I just thought that was very interesting. I also bought the Joy Cons that came out that day, which I thought was cool. I just wanted like a new Zelda game to play because I bought like what's it called? Breath of the Wild. I bought Breath of the Wild last year during quarantine, and I played that game every day for hours and hours on my little Switch Lite for it just drained my battery, but I just kept playing it. It was so much fun. So I picked up Skyward because I heard it was similar. and the same like combat system was somewhat similar. The gameplay was somewhat similar, but it was just something new to play. And I just thought it was a really cool game to play. So picked that game up pretty quick.
I have yet to play it, and
Hmm.
it's upstairs. I could just go grab it.
Yeah, it's just there.
Did you play that one, Alex?
I did not play on the Switch. I have it on the Wii. So I played it when it
Oh
came out
wow!
on that. So it came with a gold Wii remote.
It's
That
worth some
has.
money actually.
I didn't know that, but no, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna sell
love the
it.
game.
But yeah, like I have the Wii remote and stuff still, and all that. Like it has like the Hyrulean stuff on it or whatever, or is it Hyrulean? I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah, I forget because that game is like takes place in the past. But anyway, like yeah, I have that. I played that. I had the Wii Motion Plus, so like it had really really good sensing for like how you move your sword. Like if you barely like twisted it, it really like moved the sword barely as well. It's an excellent game. People hate on it a lot because ew, motion controls, they're bad. Ooh. But
Twisted damage.
yeah, so like I can understand like it's very gimmicky in the sense that like oh, this enemy you have to slash vertical. Oh, this enemy you have to slash diagonally in order to attack them and do all that, but like that's fine. It's a Zelda game. It's a linear like Zelda game as how they all are except the first one and Breath of the Wild. So like I'll probably pick it up eventually just because I really do want to give it another chance. I remember enjoying it enough. The one that I absolutely cannot stand is the one prior to that, which is Twilight Princess, which is just
Really?
it is the new Ocarina of Time for me, where it's just overrated and it's not good. Thank you for your time.
See, I just thought like the motion controls I think looked better on the Wii than they did the Switch
Yeah,
because I don't
that's what I've
think they
heard.
incorporated all the motion controls from the Wii because the Wii was like pretty much strictly motion control and the Switch is more gameplay than motion control, but there is motion control.
Mm-hmm.
So like what you were saying with the vertical and stuff, like I'd be sitting there swinging over and over and over trying to get that vertical, but it would just go up and down. It was not skilled with all that directional. It was not.
Hmm.
So you could still play. I think you can like switch in the options to use like the Joy-Con to like actually like slice the sword
Yeah, you can
with
use
yeah.
the actual stick. Yeah, I have seen that
Mhm.
because there is similar to like other games where you're like, what do you do? Because I think it was like Mario Party originally, the previous Mario Party, where it's like you can't play on a Switch Lite. You have to have Joy-Con only. So they're like, what are you gonna do for this game? So for Switch Lite owners, like that's the reason why I think why you can use the other stick because otherwise there'd be a game
I think
that they
it's
can't
better
sell.
that way,
Um,
honestly.
yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I'll definitely take a look at it eventually, but I don't know. I'm too busy playing actual Ocarina of Time right now, and that game. Every time someone walks in, my roommate or whoever, they're like, "Don't you hate that game?" I was like, "Sure, okay." Like I always complain about Ocarina of Time where it's not as good as Majora's Mask and how it's an
I like
overrated
Majora's
game
Mask.
and like yeah, Majora's Mask is probably one of my favorites, but yeah, getting off topic here, but yeah, Skyward Sword's a fun game. People like to hate on it, so I'm happy that it got a remake. It deserves that.
What about you, Alex? What's your next game?
Oh yeah, that's right. It's me next. Let's see here. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I'll save that for last. The next one I'm gonna do here is no surprise to anyone, is a game that came out, was it last year or last month? It might have been, maybe. Deltarune Chapter Two. Deltarune Chapter Two came out sometime here, maybe a month and a half ago, and it is the continuation of Deltarune Chapter One, but it's Yeah, it's been a while because Deltarune Chapter One came out like a few years ago. Like I was still at my previous job when that happened, so I want to say that was like 20 2018, 2017 when that came out, and then now a few years later here, and this one's out now, and it plays a lot better. I enjoy the story a lot without any spoilers. There's a lot more to do, but it's still very linear. It's an RPG. It's an indie RPG. So if you like Earthbound, if you like stuff like that, weird, creepy things, like play Undertale first, but then play Deltarune, because Deltarune is definitely a fun trip. And you'll get a lot out of it if you've played Undertale. But I still haven't played the secret boss yet. Like I haven't done that yet. But I plan on doing it eventually on my Switch.
Yeah, I remember seeing a couple stories about that, and before I read that it was done by the people that did Undertale, I'm like, man, this looks like Undertale. And then I read, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
because it's the same people. I never finished Undertale. I got real close, but I never
It's
finished it.
definitely worth it, depending on how you play as well, because like everyone knows the gimmick of Undertale at this point, which it was a lot better when no one knew what it was, because then you were just like, oh, what am I doing? Oh, it's an RPG, you attack things, and then you find out later it's like, oh, I shouldn't be attacking anything. And then there's just a million different endings. But
Yep.
yeah, like it's definitely a fun time. I'd recommend getting back into it if you have it on PC. The only way to do a true ending again is to like go into your system files, or like go into like your C drive and try to find the game's save. Like it's hidden deep in your computer, because they don't want you to like delete it, because it's supposed to remember like, hey, you killed that thing. We're gonna hang it over your head. Like you'll never escape this, so you have to go find it. Whereas on a console, I'm actually not sure if it does remember or not. There might be a system file somewhere. So
I, I mean, it's been so long since I played that game on there. Um, but I bought it and I was like, okay, this is really weird.
it's cheap.
Um, yeah, and I don't remember if I killed anything or not. I don't remember. I think maybe. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, because you're supposed to kill nothing in Undertale at least. Like you can beat everything by sparing them, even the tutorial fight where it's telling you to kill it. So yeah, but Deltarune, excellent game, excellent music, excellent everything. Recommend everyone play it.
Um, my next one is really not a shock to Alex or anybody. Mass Effect Legendary Edition came out earlier this year. I have played all the Mass Effects except for one because I tried to play one and it was totally broken. I mean, it was bad. It was broken. Is all get. Um, this fixes that, and it's a really good looking game. Um, I was planning to play through all the stories and finish out with Commander Shepard. And then Ghost of Tsushima came out, and there went all my time. But I got halfway through one, and it's a great game. They fixed the mechanics. The gun mechanics are so much better. Um, you know, driving the all-terrain vehicle and planets 150 times better.
You can't get stuck anymore.
Oh, that's why I stopped playing one. Is I got stuck on a
I
planet,
got stuck on the
and there
moon or
was
something on my
yeah.
when I was playing it.
It's cool if you're on the moon and you turn the right direction, you can see planet Earth.
Yeah.
The graphics have been updated a lot, and it's just a good looking game. I own it. I wish they would have done a special edition. You know what I mean? I knew they were just trying to get it out and see if it would sell really well, which it did. It sold really well.
On everything.
Uh, yeah, I would love like a master, not master, but Commander Shepard statue, guy or girl, whatever one you would pick. And I'm doing better at talking to the crew and stuff, even though like third or fourth mission in, I lost my Krogan in the first one, which sucks. Uh, I couldn't keep Ashley under control. So, but yeah, I think that's an amazing game, and I even saw it's on sale right now for like $30. Most places, it's
That's really
well
good.
worth it. Yeah, because it's all the DLC as well.
Yeah.
So you get all 3 games and all the DLC. Well worth. I mean, I paid. I think when it came out, it was like 50. It
I
wasn't
think
60.
yeah, I think it was 50 as well. Now that doesn't come with multiplayer, right? They never did the multiplayer for 3. Okay.
I haven't gotten to 3. I don't think it's on there,
Okay, I
which
thought
is
so.
good because I heard multiplayer's awful. I
I
never
heard
played it.
too. So like I was curious if they were going to fix it or just be like, "Hey, this never existed."
Yeah, I was trying to get my son to play it because it's a shooter. But the cool thing is once you get like certain rifles and you upgrade them enough, they're like right now I have a Mantis that's fully updated. So a lot of times I'll send my people in to do the fighting, and I'll just snipe from way back.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
wanted to play Andromeda. I really didn't like the way the older ones looked, but I wouldn't mind playing Andromeda.
they fixed it from what I've heard. Andromeda's fixed, and
Yeah.
you can play it. And that'd be more of your alley because it does seem more like a platformer with guns.
Hmm.
Yeah, those are
Um,
like my favorite kind of things.
yeah, I mean it was okay when I played it. What was weird was the weird facial animations
Were
of
they
people.
just
You're talking about something sad, and they're
scary
like,
puppets?
"Yeah, it was weird," or it just kept crashing on me.
Hmm.
You know? Uh, well, you know what? You can get it for like $5 now. It's not expensive.
Yeah.
So, um, Aiden, what's your next game?
So I want to like mention something before I do my last game, bringing it back towards Alex. I really started to play a lot more Smash because of Sora's introduction to Smash. Because I was really never a fan of the game. I mean, I liked the game, like if like my friends came over or something, I'd play the game, something to play. But I started like learning how to do combos and learning how to actually really play the game because of Sora, because that's like my favorite video game pretty much of all time. But um, yeah, I just wanted to mention that, even though that Smash did not come out this year, but that DLC did. Just wanted to mention that. But my last game is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Stealing my
I
games.
really did like. I really liked because like when I was younger, I played those like the older ones on the PS3 all the time. Like Crank in Time's my favorite, and it kind of resembled that one with the futuristic tone to it. They both kind of had like this future vibe. Like with this new one, you're going through time and space and rifts, obviously. But yeah, I just thought this game was really well made, and overall, just the combat system was true to the originals. I thought it was a really good game.
I played very little of it. I played about 40% into it, and I don't know if I got bored or something else just came out. It definitely wasn't Godfall, that's for sure. But Alex, you platinumed this.
Yeah. I think if you go on my Twitter somewhere and go through all of everything, you should see some videos. And I think I've shared this before where like the game was glitching hard because I was
Oh
doing
yeah.
ray tracing 60 frames, whatever that is, performance RT mode. So it was like yeah, like good graphics, but then at the same time really good frame rate. And like I kept
So
falling into let's see, I've kept falling like into like rocks and stuff because I'm just so
Yeah.
adjusted to like all these games nowadays where like I am walking and like climbing up things and like, oh, I can climb up anything. Um but I couldn't. So like I just fall into a rock or fall off a platform or just die completely.
there we
And
go.
yeah, you're still here. Don't worry.
I don't know what was happening. I had to turn on my light. I couldn't figure out what was
Oh yeah,
happening.
now you good. Um but yeah, like that game is really fun. It's really good. I've only really played the 2016 remake, and then I played a little bit of the first one on PS3 through the collection, but I own just about all of them on PS3 as well, because I was collecting them before this one. Um, but the platinum's very easy, so I do recommend it. But at the same time, this game, um, I don't know, cheated me out of platinum, so I had to like do a new game plus for a tiny bit. Um, But yeah, excellent story, excellent gameplay. Like it just inherently fun. So yeah, like this was gonna be on my list, but I'm gonna put something else on there instead.
Yeah, I think it was great because it's the first time in a while we've had a brand new Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
Uh, the one they put on the PS4 is not a new game, so
It's
uh,
kind of a
it
new
is and
game.
it
There was
isn't.
like
Yeah,
bits
yeah,
and pieces from like the first one and stuff like that.
yeah, but I
I
feel
thought it
like
was fun.
and I do too. I just think it's great that they did it on PS5 because that was the thing. He was one of the mascots for a little bit since they were with that company. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's a great game. All right, Alex, I got an idea what I think your last game is, but I really want to see if I'm right or not.
Do you have an idea of what my last game is? The game that I said is a perfect game. The game that came out in July. Um, I still haven't beaten because I stopped playing it on stream and then I got a spoiler and I got sad, so then I quit playing it. But I really do like the game still. The game is Neo: The World Ends with You, everyone.
Yep,
This game is an
called it.
excellent game. The World Ends with You came out in like 2007, 8. I don't know. It was a DS game. It's a very Tetsuya Nomura game. It's a game that Kingdom Hearts man created, character designs and all that stuff. But
Man.
yeah, the Neo: The Worlds with You is a very fun game. I play on PS5 now. I was playing on PS4 Pro when I was streaming it, and like I was having a fun time and stuff. But eventually, I was like, I don't like playing games that I'm currently playing on a stream because I just don't have enough time to play games like that, or I just want to relax and play it something else, or I feel like, oh, I can't play this game unless I'm streaming. So eventually, I made a executive decision. I was like, I'm not playing this on stream anymore, and that's when the Kingdom Hearts thing happened instead. But yeah, this game is a sequel to The World Ends with You. There are characters from the previous games in here, and where I'm at, I finished the first week of the game. So I don't know how many weeks there are in the previous game. I think they're like 3 or 4. So I'm expecting maybe that much, but combat's very fun, very intuitive. It's a 3D arena fighter thing a little bit once you get into battles, but each character on your team, and I think it's like 3 or 4, are assigned a button depending on what power pin that you give them. And so you have to like press that or hold it or whatever, and then you switch to that character, and then you move around or dodge with them. And then when you're going to attack with another thing, then you switch to that other character, and then you play as them. And the other characters just kind of like just doing their thing around. So like you really have to like pay attention, like who's who, if someone's kidnapped or captured at a certain point, like focus on the correct enemies and all of that. But it's very very Japanese, but it's a very fun time, and I do recommend it if you do like the original World Ends with You. It's not perfect or anything for other people, but for me, it's definitely something that I like. And again, I do not recommend people to play the Switch version. If that is your only way of playing it, go find it on DS. I know it's probably expensive, but go play the original one on DS.
I watched you a couple times on stream, and it looked pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um, my worry is adding more to my roster to play. Uh, I always worry about that,
yeah,
you know, because I don't get a ton of time to play, and I'm like, I want to play something consistently.
yeah,
But I called that. I was like, I swear that's gonna be on his list somewhere.
yeah.
Um, and so here's the weird thing. So I have one on my list that I'm gonna use here, but I know we talked about before what I was gonna use. I'm not gonna use that one. I'm gonna use this one. And right now we're recording these early, so Alex and I can have a much needed vacation. But we want to give you guys content. So this one's not out yet, but I have played them. So it's the GTA Definitive Collection. The reason is number one, GTA 3. When I played that game, it blew my mind what they were doing. And I was like, there's no way you're able to do this. You can get into any car that was there. in the
Yeah.
first game. So, and then by 3, you're in planes. Um, so I think them doing these remakes and doing what they're doing here, it's going to open up a whole bunch of things. There's rumors that are going to redo Red Dead Redemption,
What
which they
about
need to.
Revolver?
Yeah, I never played Revolver.
I own it. I've never played it either.
Well, Red Dead Redemption for me was an amazing game as well.
Yeah.
So if they want to redo it and then add the nightmare stuff in there and then add multiplayer, done. I played that was one of the few multiplayers I did play a
I
lot.
played that all the time back in high school.
Yeah. Yeah. And so this is a start. And I think if this sells really well, yeah, and these are large games.
Mhm.
3 is not as big, but you've got 3, you've got Vice City, which is much longer, and then San Andreas is huge. I even dread right now the mission in San Andreas. I don't know if you played it, Alex. Remember the RC planes?
No, I didn't play a whole lot of San Andreas, honestly. I was mostly a 4-person, played a little bit of 5, and then I did have the collection for PS2, like where they had those boxes where it was like 3 San Andreas, yes, 3 Vice City San Andreas.
Oh yes.
I played more of Vice City than anything of those 3.
And also the music in all 3 of those games is fantastic. Just some of the best music ever. Especially, I'll say this right now: Vice City has some of the best music from the '80s.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. I wonder if you'll still get that music. I wonder if they're changing
That
the
is
tracks.
true. I mean, you're talking about licensing, and you're talking about a whole can of whatever. So yeah, but yeah, I think that is just. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna play all 3 of them. I'm probably gonna play the crap out of them. Yeah. So that is mine for game of the year. So wow, look at that. We got through it.
We did.
What a crazy.
I still
we
have a
did.
ton of honorable mentions.
Yeah, I have like 3 or 4. I know Aiden, you had a couple, didn't you? Honorable mentions as well.
I pretty much just kind of threw them in there just before. I kind of just put them like I had the Sora and Smash. Actually, I do have one.
When we're off camera, you need to ask Alex what order need to play those Kingdom Hearts games.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, because my computer, I mean, I can handle a lot. Like this computer can do a lot more than that you think it could. Like I could run. I know Fortnite's not the best thing, but I could run that on like the higher graphics. But I was thinking because like the older Kingdom Hearts games, I feel like wouldn't be that like horrible on my computer.
We'll see.
Like I looked it up, and it said like for RAM it was like 4 gigabytes, and then like for the other stuff it didn't really specify for 1080p.
Steal a PS5 and play on PS5. It's so good on PS5.
Oh yeah.
I just thought about streaming, just playing through like the complete, just all of them.
I mean that, yeah.
Yeah.
And if they came out this year, you could have added them all to your list.
Ah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because that was one of my honorable mentions originally was I played Kingdom Hearts on the PC. That came out on PC in March. I could add that to my list if I really want to. I almost added Final Fantasy VII Remake because the integrated came out, and I really like that Yuffie DLC.
I have not played it yet. I bought it. I haven't played it. I wanted to add it because I think that game's great, and I almost added the new Tales Arise. That game's fantastic, but I'm only 20% into that game, and I've really not played much of Final Fantasy VII. So
yeah.
Oh well. Let's end this. And if you're listening to us, please support us on our other platforms. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter. We're on YouTube. Help us get to 100 subs on YouTube. And yeah, get at it.
Get at it.
Get at it.